So you're fed up of the EAFC, had enough of the cutbacks, the sweaty weekend league, the lackluster career mode, the meta ultimate team icon or team of the season filled teams, the ridiculous Evo requirements, the pay to win pack openings, the defensive position. Sorry, got a bit carried away there. Anyway, you've heard of this promised land where there's no pay to win. The fans love the game, mostly anyway. The addiction is one of love, not because of some gambling mechanics, with the depth of gameplay where even the most humble player, manager, can ascend the ranks and win the Champions League, or the Asians Champions League, or the World Cup, or the Copa Libertadores, or the Tunnix Caramel Wafer Trophy. Maybe your friends are trying to convince you, or you're just starting out. You're faced with creating your own manager. Yep, that's him there.
What the hell is that thing?
They really do look like that. More on that later. But this is the EAFC Player's Guide to Football Manager. So this is going to be the biggest change for you. For those of you without the reaction speed of a caffeinated, attention-starved 12-year-old, you know, the kind that do this in Fortnite and force the rest of us into that no-build queue, well, you'll be happy to know that reaction speeds are worthless in this game, because in Football Manager, you're managing the team, not controlling them. Every individual player has around 30 plus attributes, plus traits, personalities, development, and more. How you piece those together is up to you. It's a tactical puzzle. But remember those chemistry styles from old FIFAs? Imagine those, but in a way more complex way, and you can't just stick players from the same country together. The game will guide you somewhat though. You'll know that Harry Maguire is to be played as a centre-back and not a centre-forward, for example, and you can't stick goalkeepers outfield. Unless it's Jan Sommer, he plays right wing apparently. But once you've set up your players, given them instructions and sent them out onto the pitch, your fate is in the hands of the FM gods. They are real, and FM players recommend praying to them 3 times a day after meals. Okay, I lied. You can adjust your fate a little, you can make tactical tweaks, bring on subs, or just give your team a good old bollocking. Do it! And once you're done on the pitch, you need to sort out everything behind the scenes: transfers, training, scouting, hiring and firing staff, player contracts, just having a chat, arguing with the board, and getting sacked. Okay, avoid that last one. And you can delegate all of this, which I recommend doing if you're new to the game, with anything you aren't sure about initially, and slowly undelegate the stuff as you learn the game. Perhaps try your hand at the transfers first. Go looking for the next Lionel Messi in Argentina and try to lure them to your team for a bargain price.
Cheapo.
Now, let's address that elephant in the room. This game does not look good in match. You might have seen this game and think that this is some PS1 era game, not a well-acclaimed output from Sega and a large UK game studio. There are no close-ups of those players' faces. There are no close-ups, animations, or scoring goals. But what's going on beneath those awful graphics is far more impressive in the game engine. You might not see Anthony fidget spin his way up the pitch, but trust me, he is, as the game computes thousands of decisions, physics, and outcomes and relays that to the graphics engine. And the good news is we don't quite know what it's going to look like next year, because the game's been promised a new look and a new graphics engine as they switch to Unity. Okay, that last piece of tech I showed you about Unity, that's been cancelled while I was making this video, so FM25 could look like anything. And some silver lining for you EAFC players, you don't have to put up with the gritty anymore. Listen, EAFC has bugs. FM has bugs. They will be few and far between, but they will be super annoying when they occur. From in-engine chaos to save file crashes, they have them, you have to suck it up and go again. Now, here's the good part. You want Mbappe in your team, you can go and buy him and not have to dump any of your real money into the game. Although you'll need to convince him to join Scunthorpe or Yeovil or Man United or any other rubbishy team, sorry Scunthorpe and Yeovil fans, and your club will need to be able to stump up that cash to buy him. All those leechy gambling mechanics that try to get you to buy extra packs are gone. None of that is in Football Manager. All right, I did make a little lie about the microtransactions. If you really want, you can purchase the in-game editor. It's a single microtransaction and it's more for messing around, or if you want to be a horrible cheat in the game. But hey, it's your game. You do what you like. On the console, there's a few more cheats, but again, you can do what you like. So, you've got to the point, you've made that manager. Who are you going to manage in the game? Well, the options are nearly endless, if endless was a number somewhere between 2,000 to 2,500 teams. There's around 130-ish leagues in multiple countries, plus national teams, and there's around 600,000 real players in the database that have been scouted by FM scouts around the world, so there's no shortage of options for teams to play, players to sign, etc. You're not going to want to load them all up at once, though, unless you're running a supercomputer with extra strong cooling. And if that's not enough, On PC, you can load in custom databases. One thing to note is that while much of the game is unlicensed out of the box, on PC you can mod those licenses back in using face packs and custom databases. There are other kinds of databases you can download as well. My personal favorite, and the one I'm running on Twitch right now, is a 2007-2008 database by Mad Scientist, where I'm running with that Portsmouth team from 2007. And you can get even wilder stuff. You can get detailed pyramids way down to the 12th tier of English football, to the weird and wonderful, such as a Westeros League where you play as teams set in the fictional world of Game of Thrones.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Now here's the final thing, when you start a game in Football Manager, it is your world. It could be 1 game in year, or it could be 300 games in year. You progress at your own pace, but you can also play multiplayer in Football Manager. You can get a group of friends together, or you can get yourself in Discords and start to find people to play with and start to join network games. You'll soon find that your Thursday night is now a network game night as you all battle for the Serie A or the Bundesliga or the Vanarama National League North. And on top of that, there is draft mode. Draft mode needs a little bit of attention. This is one of the things that players have been calling for. But if you ever played a draft in fantasy football or anything similar, it's like that. You take it in turns picking players from the best teams in the world, and you can assemble a dream team of players to play against each other. So if you're an EAFC player and I have convinced you to give Football Manager a go, why not go check out this video where I give you a head start on 11 tips for beginner players in Football Manager. This is going to give you a real boost, and you'll start to know what you're doing when you enter the game. Console or PC, it doesn't matter. These tips work for both.